Hi folks, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical
And
therapist.
together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course,
How
Bob.
to improve your health with the right sleeping position, right or wrong sleeping posture. There's, we're going to go over 5 common sleeping positions, and we're going to tell you what's good about them, what's bad about them.
I think these are the 5 basic positions the
Sure.
average person uses by far, and we're going to go through each one individually.
Unless you're a horse and you sleep standing up.
Well, actually, I saw a horse yesterday. I was out running, and it was laying flat on its ground. It looked like it could have been dead, but I think horses lay flat on their side.
I thought they stand. Maybe
Well, they do both. I don't know. Maybe someone can comment. Anyway, let's
or
get
a
on.
bat. We could sleep upside down. But oh yeah, let's get started here, Brad. Oh, by the way, let's do this.
Yeah,
If
get it
you
out
are
of the
new
way.
to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, go over to Facebook's. I heard that. I thought it was funny. And like us, because Brad and I, as children, were not liked, and we didn't have any friends. So now we're trying to turn things around.
Bob, this really wasn't that true, though. I had a couple of friends. Anyways, let's get on with it.
All right, first position, Brad.
Fetal position. This is, let's demonstrate.
I do it?
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
So you're curled up like this, right?
All right. Oh, and you probably have a pillow. Most people
Just
are going
like I was in the womb.
Yep. So that's why it is a fetal position, because this is the way you are as a fetus. And I personally do this on a cold winter night when the sheets are still cold, and I get in there and then once I warm up, then I go into the more preferred position, which you get into in a little bit. But should we talk about why this position is not desirable to sleep this way?
Well, for one thing, you're in a real flexed position all night long.
Right.
You want to grab the spine real quick, Brad?
Sure.
And we're trying to teach you to keep your back as straight as possible throughout the day. So your back is rounded out like this all night long. Now, that's not necessarily a lot of stress on the back because you don't have weight on it.
Right.
But it's still kind of creating a reliance on a certain position that it's going to reinforce that position is what it's going to do.
And plus, sideline in general does put a little skew on the back in a lateral position or sideways.
Oh, sure.
So we're going sideways a little out of neutral as well as in a flex. So you got 2 different, not abnormal, but positions that to lay for a long period of time, you probably don't want that. Plus, get back down in that position once, Bob. I want to bring up another point about circulation and breathing. If you've got all these tight turns, you got a tight turn here in the hips, a tight turn here in the knee, you got your shoulders and your elbows are all crunched up. The blood circulation it's like as if you take a garden hose and you bend the garden hose.
You crimp it.
Yeah, you crimp it, and you don't have the blood flow, or in a garden hose, the water flow actually stops or reduces. It doesn't stop it here, but it reduces the free flow of circulation throughout your arteries.
Especially lymphatic too.
There you go.
Lymphatic system. So if you're having swelling in the legs, the swelling has to go up into your abdomen area in order to get processed, and then you pee it out, basically.
Sure.
But if you're like this and you're crimping the hose in a couple spots, it's going to be harder for that fluid to come out of the legs.
Right. So the big picture, circulation, whether it's in the arteries or the veins or the lymphatic system, we're crimping that off, and we don't want to do that.
Right.
So should we go to this? So we're going to avoid that.
We'll show you some right ways to do things later.
Sure.
You want to do that first? We'll show the bad things first. You're in charge, Brad.
Well, I'm going right to supine next.
Okay, that's what I mean. That's what I said. All right. So supine means on your back.
Yep. And supine, I'm going to say it right off the bat, is probably, if not for sure, the most desirable position as far as keeping your body healthy, circulation-wise, breathing-wise, spine, keeping your spine in a good neutral position, which we like. The biggest thing about laying on your back to make sure you have correct, that will be a common mistake, is if this happens. You have too thick of a pillow. Now I'm going to put 2 under here.
Or you use 2 pillows, which a lot of people do.
2 pillows or one big
look
thick
how
one.
flexed I am here.
So we've got the spine is nice and neutral throughout his torso and low back, but then the neck is tilted up. And people will do this so they can watch TV sometimes. And then if you fall asleep like that, what gets your spine in that cranked position, and it's not desirable. It may not cause a problem in one night, but over a period of weeks or months is where you can develop some problems. So supine position.
And that's going to affect your breathing too.
Oh, right.
I mean, you're closing off your trachea here.
Sure.
Again, are we making suggestions on what might do to make supine better? Or
Sure,
not?
yep.
I mean, one thing, I see a lot of people who have back pain and they don't like to be this extended all night long.
Yep.
So they do better with pillows underneath their legs.
Right.
Or, of course, the leg wedge, right?
You bet.
Brad's coming back with that. So
So you could put pillows, or even more preferably, most people find this to be like the superior comfort.
well, whenever you put this in, it's just like,
Yeah.
this is really nice. And they're inexpensive. You know, I mean,
Right.
I wish they were a little bit longer
Yeah,
for me.
for someone who's over 6 foot tall, it would be nice. Maybe we'll have to make this recommendation to the manufacturer.
Yeah, I mean, because I'd like to see this where my feet are just, that would be perfect. But now it's not giving me the
it
support
doesn't
here.
get that support there, and
Yeah.
that support there,
Is what feels really good.
that really does something for the hips and the back.
So there's a lot of people that I just have a lot of my back pain patients, Brad, that really can't sleep like this.
Yep.
They just
Right.
can't. It just puts too much.
Yep.
I think the facets are coming together, and it's hurting much.
I'll say this, Bob. If you feel more comfortable laying in your back with your knees up than being flat, chances are very likely you're going to feel very comfortable.
Right with
this.
that. Yeah. Good point.
Okay. Next, should we attack the sideline positions,
Sure.
Bob? Okay, number 3. Let's go. You want to go right sideline position?
Sure.
You're not going to. Yeah.
I was going to flip over, but
Yep.
okay.
Well, I didn't want to have you lay on your little mic box. there.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so right sideline. The thing about this that a lot of people aren't aware of, and is it may cause heartburn just because of the way the stomach is in the body.
What position they're in.
Yep.
I had read that too. I found that interesting. That it actually, there's some negative things to being on the right side versus the left side.
Right. The other things that we've mentioned also is, if you're on your back, actually, we didn't mention this, but you're more likely to snore if you're laying on your back. That's
Right.
Sometimes that's a problem. It depends on who else is in the room.
Right.
But going to the right side, we want to make sure the pillow is right. So if it's a thin pillow, you may.
I felt uncomfortable already, Brad.
Yep.
I mean, it was.
Get that so we can see.
And I use 2 pillows is what I do.
Sure. I'm a folder. I just fold mine up. I hope I do that when I'm sleeping.
Sure.
But we want to keep that spine in a neutral position. And, if it's too high, we get this. And if it's too low.
And that's how I felt it already. And I really didn't like this. I don't like this. It's already uncomfortable.
Right.
It doesn't take long.
And then sideline, make sure that you don't bring your knees up too close and get to that
And the
fetal position.
pillow between the legs is nice.
Some people, if you got a hip problem, sometimes this will really make a difference.
And then, of course, sometimes they even put a rolled towel underneath here, don't they, Brad?
Yeah, that's.
Especially if your back is kind of sagging.
Yep.
You can take a towel and roll it up and put duct tape on it like we did, and just it fills in that little gap here. That actually does feel good.
Oh yeah, I just had a person last week with herniated disc, and this was very helpful for her. And actually laying on her back was helpful too.
Yeah, and you can take it to the point where you put it all the way around you.
Yep.
Then it's giving you support all the time,
Right.
as opposed to just when you're on your side.
Right.
It'll give you support when you're on your back too.
Yeah, you can make your own like this, or you can, if you look up sleep roll, Mackenzie makes a sleep roll. That's
I put it in our Amazon list below.
Okay, our favorite products.
Yeah, our favorite
list? Yep.
products below.
Yep.
If you go down in the description, it's in there.
Okay.
So I just put that on there.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Let's go to left sideline.
All right. No, I mean, all left.
All left.
No, I was going to say all right. It's a little play on words there, Brad.
I didn't know if you're getting political or what, Bob. Okay, so if you can imagine, if laying on your right may cause heartburn, if you lay on your left, it decreases your risk for heartburn. So that's a nice thing as far as the digestive system goes. The same thing holds true. Neck position, make sure the pillow, we'll double it for Bob this time. Okay, you can put the sleep roll or the roll between there. Should we put this between your knees,
Sure.
Bob? There you go. Okay.
And then the roll would go underneath here again. Any other? It's good for.
Well, I saw some stuff on that it's going to increase lymph drainage on your left side better than your right. I didn't find anything real scientific. I did I communicated with Aaron, our resident expert on lymph drainage, and from his training, he said, yeah, it might be true, but there's nothing real
solid on
founded.
it.
But one way or another, it's not going to bother it, is what I could find out.
But decreases acid reflux.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. That
Gotcha.
GERD,
Yep.
the problem with heartburn coming up the
Sure.
esophagus.
Gotcha.
All right. So next thing, this is the fun one to go after, Bob. Prone, laying on the stomach. Is it good, bad, or who knows? We're going to go over that. You want a pillow, Bob?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you talk because you probably aren't going to be a human.
Yeah, yeah. You better look at them. So there. Nah, don't look at them. Just kidding. Okay, so laying on your stomach, we as therapists, as far as what it does to the spine, particularly in the neck, we don't advise it. We know some people do it, and they're very comfortable with it, and maybe their anatomy tolerates it well, but over time they may end up that they're going to have problems with their neck, because Bob's neck is all the way to the left right now. We call that end range of where all the neck joints, the facet joints in there, and that can cause problems, and it can eventually cause problems if you get some impingement on one of the spinal nerves and get pain in the shoulder and the arm. Headaches, Bob was saying, yep, Bob went to a continuing ed course where it was pretty clear that that can contribute to some headaches. Also the low back, arches that low back a little bit, and that can cause problems for long term.
The other thing is shoulders.
Oh.
If you tend to sleep with your arms up like that, it's going to be, you can increase the likelihood of less blood flow to the tendons, and a little more impingement issues going on. So.
Thoracic outlet syndrome.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, so I do it short. I'll lay on my stomach for like 10 minutes.
Sure.
Just in the middle of the night, and then I roll over.
Sure. Get back on your back, huh? So
So
what do you say, Bob? That's all 5. I think it's pretty straightforward. So, if you can lay on your back, it's probably the best, but work the other ones as you can.
Right. Sounds good. Thanks, everybody, for watching.